Well, thank you, Amjad and Rachel, for a very interactive session. This session is the demonstration of how quality is an enabler for the business. Now, our next session is demonstrating how the quality is a business partner, a collaborator with the health authority. Let us welcome Dr. KEFAH from the Department of Health Abu Dhabi. Dr. KEFAH is a visionary healthcare strategist and thought leader with over 20 years of experience spearheading pivotal regulatory, surveillance, and health technology initiatives. KEFAH is an expert in investment evaluation of innovative healthcare solutions. Thank you, and let's welcome Dr. KEFAH on stage.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. A very interesting talk and conversation about third manufacturing parties for big companies. Interesting subject about the quality and how you choose your third-party manufacturer. It's a different aspects and that the quality is a very big field. So I'm going to talk about different things, quality defects from regulatory point of view. Yeah, thank you so much. So my name is KEFAH al-QAWASMEEH. I'm working for Abu Dhabi Department of Health. I was responsible for the quality control of pharmaceuticals in Abu Dhabi and quality defects. We have, in the Department of Health of Abu Dhabi, we have a small lab, pharmaceutical control lab, that we use and utilize to detect any quality defect complaints in the market, mostly adulterated products. And we are also collaborating with Abu Dhabi Quality and Conformity Pharmaceutical Quality Control Lab. They are our enablers in the post-marketing surveillance study that we conduct during our daily and yearly routine. So to start, the objective of this talk is to bring about the risk management framework that we depend on to conduct the post-marketing surveillance study in Abu Dhabi. I will also highlight and present the post-market surveillance program in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. We will also talk about how we deal with the complaints from the market on quality defects. And we will end up by presenting some of the cases that we witnessed during our work in the Department of Health. We have another big department in Abu Dhabi, which is pharmacovigilance. It's responsible for safety and medication error aspects. But I will going to talk about quality defects and how to detect them. So basically, we depend on our decisions depend on a risk management framework that starts by identifying the issue and give its context. If any quality defects is identified, high-risk medications, etc., we will assess the risk and benefits, and we will then identify and analyze option how to mitigate these risks from the quality defects. We will select a strategy, and then we will implement it. We will then follow up for the strategy, and throughout all these steps, we will include our stakeholders, the industry in this case. So from the objectives of our post-marketing surveillance studies, it started around 2015, 2016. So we have a 5-year plan. Each 5 years we give a new action plan. The aim of this program is to improve patient safety by removing unsafe or substandard products from the market. We also aim at enhancing regulatory oversight for products distributed in Abu Dhabi. We do periodic laboratory testing. As I said, we have 2 labs, one at Zayed Herbal Complex for product complaints from the market, and another one in the Abu Dhabi Conformity Council, where they have a big facility for post-marketing surveillance. They are ISO accredited for different tests, including dissolution, sterile products, etc. We are preparing to be ISO accredited at DOH lab, but still we are doing our quality management system, our SOPs, and finalizing all these qualifications. Throughout this program, we can ensure that prescriber is trusting the products in the market. We have many products registered, but it needs the post-marketing surveillance to ensure the quality, and they are maintaining the quality of their products during the life cycle after distribution. So the 5 years plan enable us to do that, and the collaboration and the service level agreement with the QCC also are enablers. So our 5 years plan that renew every 5 years, it targets highly consumer product. So we have an insurance claim database from ثقة. If you know ثقة, ثقة is Daman, biggest coverage criteria in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi for all the UAE locals. So through this insurance claim, we identify high consumed products. For example, the top 100, and we target generic products to ensure their safety and quality after marketing. We target also critical drugs, ICU antibiotics, antidotes are 2 categories that we target to ensure quality. Products with quality issues from market complaints and from patients, from healthcare professionals, from industry itself. And we also open communication for non-registered medications. Unfortunately, we have utilized non-registered products to cover shortage in medications. For example, for antidotes, we have shortages in the antidotes in the facilities, healthcare facilities. So that's why hospitals, they go and utilize non-registered product. They get an MOH permit to import medications, and it comes into the market. This caused us a few problems in the past, but through the post-marketing surveillance, we identified these risks and we mitigated them. So our post-marketing surveillance program is presented on the Department of Health website through Research and Innovation portal. You can find all these details there with our aims and objectives from the program, with the total number of samples that have been tested. So between 2016 and 2021, we analyzed almost 1,845 samples among different categories of medication. Our methodology depends mainly on 3 items. First is the targeting sampling, as I said, the categories of products that we target. The Abu Dhabi Conformity Council, our enablers, our labs, and also the regular meeting with the lab, with the stakeholders to ensure that the process is completed. So we target medicinal products. We target also any with specific names will be selected based on the critical illness, based on high uptake of molecules, unregistered medications. Again, this is a high-risk category. The lab readiness, if the lab is not ready to do the quality testing, we cannot do it. Human and financial resources, how much staff are involved in the process, can we do it financially, because all these tests are paid. We pay actually for the lab to do the testing. We purchase the sample from the market ourselves. And also testing for selected herbal products for dietary supplement. Among social media, we have a lot of complaints from social media products. Sometimes we have complaints for the 3 main categories of complaints: for weight reduction, for physical and sexual enhancement, and the 3rd one is the herbal product and heavy metal contamination. This one that comes for us from the social media. So how we do it actually? We start by sample collection. So samples are procured by our team from the DOH. They have financial facilitated credit card, so they can go to the market, to the hospitals, to the pharmacy, and they will purchase the samples themselves. We target 3 different outlets, 3 different locations to get the same medication, so that we can have a range of different environments. This is per the WHO recommendation for post-marketing surveillance activities from regulatory authorities, in order to have different, for example, from Abu Dhabi, from Dhafra region, from Al Ain, so we know if the storage condition affect, if the supplier is affected by distributing in different places. Then we do our documentations to ensure that all the details of the product, batch number, manufacturer, the outlet that has been purchased from is documented. We give them numbers, code numbers, and then we dispatch them to the lab, where they are being prepared by having their protocol ready. They depend mainly on the United States Pharmacopoeia protocols to analyze for generics mainly, of course. Then during this process, we of course have meetings with the lab to ensure that they have all their requirements from the reference standard, from the readiness, from the tests required, and sometimes we involve industry during this negotiation, before the results or after the results as well. So when we test for generic tablets, the main lab tests that we request from the lab are the identification in case of we are suspecting counterfeit products in the market. We also use tablet friability, hardness, weight variations. These are all requirements from United States Pharmacopoeia protocols. We test for dissolution to ensure bioequivalence. We test for impurity, content uniformity in suspension and other oral dosage forms, and of course, any other required tests. For injection, for example, the test that we usually request from the lab is to be ready with testing for visual particles and particulate matter as well. We have a very well-sophisticated CAM flow machine that take pictures of the particulate matter inside the injectable solution to ensure it is clear of impurities. We ask for HPLC assay and identification as well. The complaint from the market, as I said, we usually have complaint about heavy metals. So we request for heavy metal detections. We do microbiology, endotoxin, and HPLC for identification of the product in case of adulteration. This is just a screenshot from our previous studies that have been done between 2016 and 2020-21. It's available, I think, as well on our DOH. So as you can see, we targeted some of the highly consumed products: diclofenac, antibiotics, metformin, azithromycin, suspension and solution. We tested rosuvastatin, clopidogrel as a high-risk product because it's for its clinical use, atorvastatin, and injection non-registered products, non-registered injection in the market. These are the studies that have been done. In the antibiotic study that was done, one product unfortunately was of substandard and was recalled from the market. It was, I think, from a global pharma, unfortunately. But then after the recall, mitigation has been done in the manufacturer site, and the product formula was enhanced and was released in the market again. Metformin 500 milligram, we tested all the generic from metformin in the market. There were no non-compliance. All of them were of standard specifications. Azithromycin was very interesting because it was just before the COVID-19 pandemic, and it has been used heavily with the COVID-19 treatment protocols. So it was almost the time to do this study. The tablets were of no major concerns, but the suspensions had a little bit out of specifications after dissolution. I will talk about azithromycin suspension later on. Injections, the unregistered injections in the market. During this study, 14 products were recalled. 14 non-registered products were recorded due to contamination with particles and detectable particles, particulate matters, etc. Even during the non-registered injection study, one company from India was banned from importation into the UAE because many of their products had these problems. I think it was Samaris, India. Okay, we did diclofenac. We had no problem with the diclofenac. We did also metformin XR. If you remember a few years before, we had the NDMA problem, the carcinogenic NDMA impurities in the active ingredients. So we had like an assurance study to ensure that metformin XR are clear from this carcinogenic impurities, and thankfully all the preparation in the UAE were clear by having percent of the NDMA that is not detectable according to the specification. Rosuvastatin, clopidogrel, we had some issues and we shared these issues with the industry. We shared them as well with the MOHAB to take actions and to enhance the formula of substandard product in clopidogrel and rosuvastatin. We are currently doing an ICU IV antibiotics study. It's still ongoing. We have some brands of substandard specifications, some standard results, but the final report is being drafted to take actions as well. Okay. The second part of the quality program in the DOH, Department of Health, is the complaint from the market, because our patients, our healthcare professionals are the one who enlighten us for any quality defect post-marketing. So we are targeting public and healthcare professionals to notify us on any drugs and registered medical products that they suspect they have a quality defect in. And also if any non-registered, if any dietary supplement in the market, they can also come to us and raise a complaint about this product to do later on investigations, of course. So we have different portal for complaint that we can accept this notification. We are available on TAM portal. If you know, TAM is the Government of Abu Dhabi portal for all services. So we have a service by any healthcare professional, by any public. They can go online and submit a request that they have a sample to analyze, a defected pharmaceutical, cosmetic, dietary supplement sample that they want to analyze, free of charge, of course. We receive these applications and we process them after receiving the sample from the patients. We are also available for healthcare professionals through e-notification system. It's an electronic portal where healthcare professionals can notify us with any medication error, with any suspected quality defected product through an online portal, which is the e-notification. And any defects can also be submitted to us via email, safety and quality, bve@doh.gov.ae, for side effects, for medication error, and for suspected quality defect products. This is covered under the standard. We actually had a standard in 2019, and then it has been updated in 2023. The Department of Health standard for reporting medication error and suspected quality defect. It's published on the DOH website. Okay, whenever we have such requests, we ask for minimum quality to be able to analyze and test these samples. For example, if an oral dosage form, we usually request a minimum quantity of 10 tablets or capsules to be ordered to be able to do the testing. We can ask for 50 ml from liquid dosage form and 30 grams from any paste or cream. I will talk a little bit about examples that we faced from the post-marketing surveillance or from the complaints that we did, and it's open for discussion how you can see this and how can you deal with these cases, for example. Okay, so the first one is the non-registered injections. Between 2018 and 2020, we were very active in collecting any non-registered products from the market. We go to the hospital and we purchase these products by identifying them from the hospital if they are registered, if they are non-registered. And then we sent for testing. The thing that alerted us in this area is a case that we received from one hospital about a nasal necrosis case. A patient who went into nasal surgery, cosmetic nasal surgery, ended up by having nasal necrosis. So when we did the gap analysis and when we targeted what was the cause of these nasal necrosis, it was unfortunate that the lidocaine that was used in the anesthesia was contaminated with visible particles. This was discovered during our analysis with the CAM flow machine, a very sophisticated machine that can take pictures of any injectable solution. So unfortunately, nasal necrosis happened to the patient, but it triggered our action to survey these injections in the market. So IVF medications had similar problem, progesterone. You can see the picture here from the CAM flow machine, how it's contaminated with a very big protein aggregates that are very visible. I think they were 500 micron, which causes skin site infections. We also did a recall for an antidote, methylene blue. A recall for gentamicin was done, and emergency medicine vasopressin. They were very highly critical medications that are used in the emergency medicine. A second study that we did during COVID-19 is the hand sanitizers. Unfortunately, hand sanitizers in the beginning of the epidemic were suboptimal. They either had less amount of alcohol, because the standard is 70% ethanol. They either had suboptimal concentrations from alcohol, or they had been contaminated with, or they were, one or two products were contaminated with methanol. Methanol is very dangerous. It can cause blindness. We've been working with the industry with this issue. We worked with the industry and manufacturer of the hand sanitizers. We guided them through issuing a standard on the best concentration for alcohol, on the requirement for alcohol sanitizers, and it has been published on the website to prevent these cases from happening again. Another studies that we did is the NDMA that I talked about first. We assured the public that our metformin XR brands are safe and they are well controlled. The other safety issues that I want to talk about is the heavy metals in dietary supplements. We test a lot of supplements, dietary supplements from social media for heavy metals, and sometimes, unfortunately, they have unacceptable levels, high level of heavy metals, that triggers us to recall it or issue a safety alert for patients if it is not available sometimes because they come via travelers, so we don't have any recall regulatory actions to do. Another one that we did for a cosmetic product was a complaint from a mother for a diaper rash cream. The diaper rash cream, instead of healing the baby, it caused him scratches. Imagine diaper rash, a very well-known company, but unfortunately there were plastic particles in the cream that caused irritation to the baby, and this one was recalled as well because it was not plastic. After investigation and after the lab analysis, it seems that some of the ingredient in the cream caused like aggregates, very salt aggregates and polymers that resembled the plastic, but it was these aggregates were detectable and were feeling like glass particles. Lastly, we receive a lot of honey products contaminated with and adulterated with undeclared ingredients, undeclared active ingredient, like, for example, they use it and market it for weight reduction, and at the end it is adulterated with sibutramine, an active ingredient, and it is a banned active ingredient for weight reduction. A lot of honey products are also contaminated with sildenafil, tadalafil for sexual enhancement. And sometimes also they have been contaminated with antihistamines for weight increase, to increase the weight. So be very careful where you get your products from, okay? Another example that was done is the clopidogrel generics were tested. Azithromycin suspensions was also tested. Some of them, they had problems during day 1. Some of them, they had suboptimal concentration in day 5. All through the days, from day 1 to day 5, the standard should be between 90 to 100%, according to the USP, to United States Pharmacopoeia standards. But if the azithromycin suspension for kids at day 3, day 4 is below 90, this is a problem. During this issue, we communicated, we were working with the industry, with the manufacturer. They were very cooperative. We sat together, we enhanced the formula, we found out where was the problem, and then we did retesting again, and we saw actually that the formula was improved and there was no need for recall. Just we worked behind the scene to enhance their formula with them and get them the product up to standard again. This is one of the complaints from the market, from a company from the UK, I think Martindale. Their product labeling of the phenobarbital, a controlled medication, had defect. There was no labeling on the ampule, so it was not identifiable for physicians. We cannot allow this kind of labeling to be available in the market. So I think we did a recall for this product, and it has been withdrawn from Abu Dhabi and UAE, different batches. A team from Mohab and DOH went to the manufacturer and inspect them in the UK to mitigate the risk. There had some problems with the camera that detect labeling in the production line. So they worked on this and they again reintroduced a new process for labeling. Okay, this is a second case for the vasopressin injection where we detected very large particles inside the injectable solutions, 210 microns, 427s. These are all in the sizes of visible particles. We cannot allow these visible particles to be available in injectables. And the product was also recalled on the level of DOH and Mohab as well. This is Samaris, India, where they have been banned from importation because it seems they have a problem in their production line and contamination, because these particles are like, fibers or like, finish. I want to go back to the previous slide. Okay. I will skip. Okay. So as you can see, these are fibers from the production line. The second one is like a glass particles. So they are all unacceptable. This is a dietary supplement that we received as a complaint also from the market. If you can focus on the tablets, you can see discoloration of the dietary supplement. We face this a lot in the vitamins. They are oxidized by air, and we did recall 2 batches. We recommended the manufacturer to do sugar coating to prevent the oxidation of the active ingredient. This is another product from social media. This one we received from social media for weight reduction. The name was Pink Capsules. This one had an active ingredient that when you swallow, it expands in your stomach, so it might cause shocking hazard. This was available on social media without any cautious, without any alert to patient when they take it, because there are specific procedure, specific process. When you swallow it, you need to stand up, you need not to lay down. So we prefer to withdraw it and recall it from the market, to have it properly registered and available during pharmacy outlet, not on social media. So I think this was the last case. If you want to comment or ask any questions about our program, yes, please. I know it's a different aspect of quality than when you were talking about, but that's how we tackle it, yes, in the audits.
Thank you, Dr. KEFAH, for the presentation. Really great efforts from the UAE authority for the post-marketing surveillance for the products in the market. And I can imagine how many products in the market, and how do you do the strategy for deciding which products to be under the study? Is it an annual report? Is it a routine, or what?
Okay, so every 5 years, as I said, we have a plan. The plan would include going back to the, you can hear me, sir? So the plan includes the reimbursement claims. We go back to the reimbursement claim from insurance database, so we can know what are, for example, the most 100 consumed drugs. We go there and we know where are the generics from there, and we target the highly consumed product. This is one category, this is one part of the plan. Then we also we target the high-risk medications, as I said, ICU, antibiotics, antidotes, the products that any quality defect can cause harm to the patients. So one part of the strategy is the consumption, another part is the risk-based, where we target high-risk products, and third one is the complaint from the market, the active communication with the patients and with healthcare professionals. Sometimes we receive from industry as well. So three-part strategy. You're welcome.
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. KEFAH, for the presentation, very informative. Just a question about how can we be more proactive. I understand that we adopt this approach because these are unregistered products. However, there is a market need and a patient need, so we still grant them access to our markets. But the question is, how can we be more proactive? I can see that you have done a great job trending your common defects like carcinogenic impurities, extrinsic particles, missing labels, and so on. So can this be done maybe at earlier stages before we grant them the importation approval, so that, you know, proactively we prevent any risk to the patients? Is there any plan to circle back or to facilitate?
I'm not saying, I'm not targeting that we have a lot of non-registered products in the market, but whenever we have them, we need to ensure their quality. It's a process that facilitates the availability of the medication. We cannot ignore its importance, non-registered products, but facilities and healthcare facilities should be very vigilant on where they can get these products from. Whenever we have any applications for a new non-registered product, because we do coding, we do grant access to non-registered product in Abu Dhabi, we ask for GMP certificate, we ask for a lot of documents from these facilities to ensure that they are of high standards, applying high standards. But unfortunately, sometimes because of the pressure on the healthcare facilities, they get from any supplier. And this is our role, to ensure that after marketing, we need to be vigilant on what products we have for patients.
Hello, I have actually two specific questions. One question is about, do you have a standard procedure or protocols to handle that undesirable outcome, whether it comes from the post-marketing surveillance or from the quality defect complaints, knowing that it's very challenging because samples could be compromised at the end user when they send to you for the complaint? That's the first question. And the second question is, you touch a little bit on these unauthorized distribution. We have seen these issues heavily in the region, less likely in the UAE. We call them, backpackers, where they bring product to here could be 200 units and they sell them and they vanish. And then you get an adverse event of that that we are responsible for. So what is the tactical approach, or if there's any strategic approach that the ministry or the health authority could be doing in the future to assist the market authorization holder to handle issues like this? Because you mentioned also social media and other stuff. So thank you.
Yes, for example, we've seen Monjaro on social media a few weeks ago. Monjaro was heavily consumed. So this is very important. In response to your first question about how we can know if the quality of the product was not compromised during the patient use, correct? So we ask the patients for certain amount of sample, and if he has the sample batch and the identified batch, and if we see that the quality has been compromised during the patient use, we don't ignore it, but we tend to get other samples from the market ourselves.
But I mean, just very basic post-marketing surveillance, as you mentioned, you obtained the sample from the market,
yeah,
and let's say failed. Is there a set of protocol to ensure consistency in how you guys handle these?
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, to
All
approach
this,
the manufacturer and, you know,
yes,
increase sampling plan, et cetera, et cetera.
yes.
Is there a standard procedure?
Yes, we have an
Okay.
internal SOP to deal with all these quality defects if they are coming from post-market surveillance, the proactive one, or if they are coming from complaint. But at the end, we have an open communication with the manufacturer to talk with the industry and to know what is the root cause of this problem. And the decisions are taken on the national level. We have like a pharmacovigilance national committee that take the decisions at the end after all the inputs are seen. The strategy is taking on the federal level.
Because honestly, the fear, and I'm sure some of these colleagues here can share that with me, because sometimes authorities jump right away for the conclusion of a recall, and we probably all experienced that, not just in UAE, in the GCC region, and before even testing is fully completed, and they ask the manufacturer to recall, and then later on they say, oh, it's okay, but you already published that, you sent the warning letters, you sent all this stuff, and we have seen that. So that's why I'm asking about, you know, the steps, the consistent steps that authority is taking to protect the patient safety and product efficacy in the market, but as well as also protect the interests of the manufacturer.
Yes, yes. The industry, our main enabler to get the enough sufficient supply of medications in the region. But also we have to look at the patient safety first, because patient safety comes first. There is a balance between this and between talking with the industry. Sometimes the strategy is to do quarantine the batches until the testing is finalized. And if the testing is okay, they will release the batches in the market again if the safety is ensured and there is no quality issue. Sometimes we do recalls on facility level. If no, this batch is only available, for example, in CCAD, we don't announce it. We just talk with CCD and industries, just to do not make any conflict in the market and do not announce it and publicize it to have a very big impact on the company. But the big pharma are very responsible about their products. Sometimes they are the one who are approaching us to do the recalls when this is impacting patient safety. So there are different strategies, and they are all being discussed according to the case by case.
Thanks for the presentation. I'm Rana Melkawi. I'm the drug director at Jordan Food and Drug Administration. I have a question regarding, do you have any statutory or regulatory standards published regarding post-marketing surveillance? Also, you mentioned the case about having some visible particles of an unregistered product that was recalled from the market. My question is, do you do any analysis for the non-registered products before the release to the market or not? Because I think if it's a visible particle, it would have been seen immediately. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, the recalls that we did, for example, was for non-registered products. Unfortunately, when we talk about non-registered to prevent shortage, we're talking about very small amounts, 50 ampoules, 100 ampoules. We cannot mandate testing before importation. This is very difficult because the supplier and the healthcare facility will have to wait till the analysis is finished to supply 50 ampoules. This is a little bit not practical and will not solve the issue. Yes.
From our experience as Jordan Food and Drug Administration, already we do have this problem of having shortage in the market for products that are not registered. So we allow for non-registered products. We ask for quality documents to be presented upon importation, and before entering the market, we ask for analysis of the product, so it cannot enter the market without analysis. And the only point of entry for non-registered products into the Jordanian markets, whether it's for the private or the public hospitals, it's through the JFDA. So the control is here, and if we issue and if we face an issue like they are in need of this product, what we do is that we exempt part of the batch for use in certain places until the analysis is done. So we know that this is used, and we issue for this hospital, for example, that's in need for this product, that it's on your responsibility until the analysis is finished. And sometimes we also face problems after the analysis, because also the efficacy you will not see unless you use the product sometimes, because this will happen. But this is to ensure that, and also we enforce them that we give them 6 months for this product to be registered in the market and not to be always imported as non-registered. So we do enforce some of these things. And for the post-market surveillance, we have a guideline that was issued recently, because we changed how we test products in the market. We shifted to the post-marketing surveillance more, so that we will have it to be more proactive, for this. And also it's better for us because we are in lack of human resources. The post-marketing surveillance is good for this. Thank you very much for you.
You're welcome. We have like a standard, as I said, for reporting medication error and suspected quality defect. Post-market surveillance has internal SOP for us in the Department of Health. It's something that we work on in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, but it's also active on the federal level with the MOHAB. And I think non-registered products should be, for the new authority, the drug authority, would be focusing on all these issues. And inshallah, for the best, inshallah. Very nice to hear your experience as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for presenting. I have one small question. So there is a lot of regulation, and especially for parallel import in UAE. But we can see that there is an expansion of, once people are importing stuff for personal use. Sometimes it's labeled under personal use, but they are getting quantities like a bit bigger than, personal use. And we don't have like real regulation regarding that for like personal use of parallel imported medication. So are you working on any, let's say, awareness for that?
For the personal medication, there is a very distinct circular or law that governs what are the quantities that will be allowed with any person who's entering the UAE. It's all regulated by MOHAB, because all the entries, all the entries are regulated federally. And there are some inspectors in the airports, and they will know what is the allowed quantity. For example, I think the maximum is a 3-month supply from one certain medication, and it's less for narcotic or controlled medication. So there is some governing laws in the UAE, but it's about who's available at that time from the inspections.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. KEFAH, for this interesting presentation. You have referred to the social media and the sales on the social media. It's referring to my colleague questions as well. Do you consider in the future, in collaboration with MOHAB, more stricter regulation when it comes to a product that's sold on the social media? Is it legalized? It's coming from legal source? It is maybe it's a counterfeited product, not it's substandard? Thank you.
So whenever we have a question about social media, we always communicate to the public that don't buy on social media, don't buy on these unregulated outlets. Get your medication or what you have supplements from regulated or licensed facilities from pharmacy. But with everything on social media is being announced public, and the craziness about weight reduction, we cannot control everything. It's something that is regulated by MOHAB and by, I think, the Communication Authority. because whenever we find these illegitimate suppliers, we notify the authorities and they will block this account, they will block this Instagram account, they will block this website. It's need to have more awareness among the public to notify us about these outlets. But so this is something that is should be collaborated among everyone as well.
I mean, do you consider more like fines or more stricter, like not only close the account? So if
something that is, for example, not dietary supplement, if some medication, the case will go to the police because they are not allowed to sell medications over social media. They are not licensed facilities.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. KEFAH, for the presentation. I have two questions, one related to the previous question. As we know that even the registration somehow for the herbal products is not very stringent, with less requirement even if you have it registered through MOH. So do we have, like, out of these post-surveillance, do you have like CAPAs, not only corrections, do you have like corrective actions suggested to the health authority to be more stringent and more requirements for these products? This is the first question. Another almost related question, it was surprised me, in the case of clopidogrel, you said it was on generic brands, and as I understood, all were registered, correct?
Yes, yes.
So it was surprising because along the registration process, there are a long list of documents are requested and reviewed by MOHAB. So how could be like those products just in the market? Yeah, exactly.
Because sometimes after marketing, you have storage condition, you have stability of the product compromised. We cannot ignore the storage condition, different conditions of very high temperature here in the UAE. Sometimes it's a formulation issue that the product is not releasing all the active ingredient. Sometimes it's disintegration of the active ingredient. So it happens. It's nothing that is not possible. It can be possible, but it needs communication with the industry to enhance their formula, to be aware of their storage condition, etc. So during the process of clopidogrel, the company were communicated to, we worked together, we enhanced the formula, and we retested the products again to ensure that it is within specification.
This is comforting to know, like you have a higher level of actions taken beside recall or banned or like...
Yes, of course. Communication is the very important thing between us and industry. We're not here just to recall if something suboptimal. No, we need to communicate to improve the formula and to ensure that the available products are within specification for patient safety.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. KEFAH, for this informative session. Having all these people here coming from like quality, regulatory, and supply chain, and all different functions, and maybe PV here, and coming from a regulator in our countries here, what's your message for them? Like, you see, they are representative of distributors, multinational companies, local manufacturers. So what is your message here? How maybe like we can build up the cooperation between our functions, our companies and businesses, and you as a regulator?
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. We need to build a non-guilty environment, that whenever there is a problem in the market, we need to have open communication, to be proactive. Whenever we approach you, to respond back to us, because we sometimes face an issue with, specifically in international companies. They think whenever we pinpoint to a problem that they are they are above standards, we cannot pinpoint the problem, but we need to have open communication. You need to understand us, to respond to us in a timely manner, so we can work out or mitigate any risk issues. So open communication and non-guilt environment. This is our message to you. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. KEFAH, for joining us today. Dr. HAZEM, thank you.